Hey everyone, this is First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Brad. Panovich here's a quick update as we look ahead to Thursday. We've got the potential for some strong storms in the afternoon. It's not a huge threat, but it's enough that I need to talk about a little bit tonight before we get ready for the storms going into your Thursday. Here's the wide view. You see what's going on. We've got this big stalled front down to the south. That's actually starting to usher in a lot of rain across the Carolinas. In fact, you see all this moisture moving in. This is basically moving just north of this warm/stationary front. But it's going to start moving north as a warm front, which is going to usher in the instability that we're going to see later this afternoon. So here's a look at the short-range models. Now, it looks a little stronger than it actually is. I think the model, the HRRR, does a little bit craziness with some of the reflectivity. But you get the idea. You got heavy rain most of tonight through the morning hours. And then there's probably going to be a lull. And that lull is going to start around 9, maybe 8 o'clock in the morning. We'll start to see a break, maybe in the cloud cover and the shower activity. We'll be in the warm sector at this point, so that means the potential for things to get a little unstable. And you can see the line of storms that develops by about noontime to our west. It's this line which extends from Knoxville back into Birmingham. And as we go towards about 2 o'clock, a line of showers and thunderstorms move through. Now, this is where the question mark is. How much instability will we get here? Will there be more severe weather down here or up here? I think those are still some of the question marks I have, but you get the time frame right there around, I'd say 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then it moves off to the east as we go towards 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. So the big question is how much instability are we going to have in place about this time? So one of those parameters I look for is something we call CAPE. It's essentially thunderstorm fuel. So this is 1 o'clock in the morning. We'll go to about 5, 6 o'clock. Now we're at 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. 10 o'clock, we're still not a lot of what we call CAPE or thunderstorm fuel here in the morning. It's all down here. So depending on how much cloud cover we have and whether or not we see some sunshine or even just the thinning of the clouds, that could bring in some instability. By 1 o'clock, you notice we start to see some of the instability building here. Now, the legend is up at the top. These aren't huge numbers. In fact, if I look down here, these are around, around 8 to 900, what we call joules per kilogram squared. Anything around 500 or higher is kind of substantial. So you can see down towards Columbia, this is an area where we've got much bigger CAPE values. And then as we go towards about 2 o'clock, that's about when we see the peak instability for our area. In fact, the peak instability is going to be out here towards I-95. Back towards Charlotte, it's about 400, maybe 300, a couple hundred joules per kilogram CAPE. So this would be the time frame we'll watch for. If we're going to see some severe weather, it's going to be around 3 o'clock in the afternoon as the instability moves in. But then by 5 o'clock, all the instability kind of moves. So to kind of show you the timing of all this mess tomorrow, this is the severe weather impacts and timing for your Thursday. The tornado threat, if there is going to be one, it's going to be pretty low, but it's going to happen in the middle of the afternoon. I think winds are going to be the biggest story, maybe gusting to 45, 50 miles an hour with the squall line or front, whatever it is, and then maybe even stronger winds going into Friday, but we'll talk more about that as we get closer to Friday. Then the flooding threat, very isolated right now. This would mainly be the mountains and foothills, but certainly an area that I'll be keeping an eye on. So just be weather aware tomorrow. It's not going to be a huge threat. It's a small threat. It's March, so we're not used to this stuff. Just be ready for some strong storms. And then we'll go into Friday and we'll worry about just the strong winds that'll be around all day long, especially in the mountains where we're likely going to have a high wind warning issue. Have a great Thursday. I'll post updates throughout the afternoon and keep you weather aware, I should say, on this Thursday. Have a great Thursday, everybody.